for the people listening to the tape, it's the Monday, February 27th Festival of Chimes and Lights Committee meeting. We're doing a tape 3:30. And we're going to get started with the Bay Street Lighting Partnership, which is something kind of new. We have who's going to be coming?
Kathleen and Bob.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then wait a minute. But this is something we've been talking about, Public Works too. You know how we were talking about lighting for Bay Street that looked a lot like the Tacoma downtown area and then 4th Street in Bremerton. And Rob has been in on this, the mayor. We've been talking about how we could potentially partner with Bay Street Association. Chamber too, do you think will be
I
involved?
think that there's a little bit of talk with Chamber about being involved.
Some of the other organizations to use part of our Chimes and Lights budget for decorations to have lighting down there all year round. I mean, everyone's kind of excited about this. I think it would be would be beautiful, brighten up the area. But as Dave will be talking about, and maybe Rob if he makes this meeting, it's going to take a commitment on the part of the building owners to be able to attach these, and you know better than anyone, Public Works, how we would do this, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so Rob and I spoke a little bit last week, and he is thinking that we would probably need to hire a contractor to attach to the buildings and hang the lights. I'm not sure if the city, he was concerned about liability and things like that. With the city doing it, or if we just did it as our group, we hire somebody, to do that. So, but then to work alongside maybe the city electrician, as far as getting the connection to power and things like that. And so I talked to Robert Baglio a little bit this morning. Wait for Kathleen.
Yes.
Hey,
Decided to wait till the hail stopped.
I know. Thank you for
I don't want to go
Bobby.
outside in that weather. Oh no, Bobby
Venturing
walked.
her
Oh
way over.
jeez.
She's got no really.
She's always walking.
Giving her a ride.
Aw.
So,
We were just talking about the lighting.
Yay,
Bobby.
okay, good.
Yes, and talking about installing it and what that means. Dave is kind of explaining.
So I was saying that, I talked to Rob a little bit on Friday, I believe, and he suggested that maybe we need to get a contractor to attach to buildings and hang lights, and then work alongside city electrician to get the connections to the power and things like that. And so I talked to Robert Baglio, BJC Group, this morning. I sent him an email, and he said that they could probably work with us to do it. But we would have to, he would have to get more information. So I sent him off a little of the information I sent to you.
That you got? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, so I sent to you that information, and so he could kind of get his head around exactly what we need to do, and then we'd have to go and get measurements. He'd give us a rough bid on what it would cost.
Okay.
So I got a rough bid back this morning from this American lighting company, and they're in Denver. This is the same company that worked on Bremerton worked with on their 4th Street.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
Yeah, I talked to them. They gave me a referral to this company, so that's how I got hooked up with this company. So she gave me a bid this morning, and so what and I don't know what I'm doing. I was just down there kind of looking at the lights. And I measured this, did a rough measurement across the street and how many feet we would need, and thinking that we did maybe if we like zigzagged, and some of these pictures kind of zigzag back and forth, and maybe did like every 30 feet, we connected back and forth. And so I figured out that we need probably 100 feet. Because I think building to building, it's about 80 feet. we attached to the front of the building. It's about 80 feet. And so we were just roughing out about 100 feet. If we went, diagonally across, it'd be another probably 10 feet to go instead of just straight across. And so they sell those light spools in 330-foot reels. And they're kind of like these. Here, I get a lot of copies of these. But they also have, these are like what they call like more of a teardrop. But they have just a globe design too, which we could get that. She said
LEDs.
they're LEDs, yeah. And so if we did that, we'd probably need about 19 crossings, maybe about 19 crossings back and forth. If we started like at the dance gallery and went all the way to the theater, basically those 2 blocks in there. So we'd need probably about maybe 19 crossings back and forth. Right.
50 feet each?
Huh? 100
About
feet.
100 feet each,
Yeah. 100 foot each, yeah. And so the bid on that for the
Sharon, sorry.
Hey, Sharon. So the bid on that for the lines going across with the bulbs. Bulbs, of course, are the most expensive. For $4,500 for the bulbs, the LED bulbs, but they last. a long time.
$4,500 for the bulbs.
Yeah, for the bulbs.
They're supposed to last a couple of years, depending on weather, and they take a beating
This
here,
is-
we know. It's not even the
Yeah.
bulbs as much as the sockets, is what we found, haven't we, in
And
Public
those-
Works?
and those are probably weather
Sealed.
sealed, yeah.
Sealed.
It's hard to tell from the picture, but it looks like they came out. But that would be a question you'd need to ask them.
Weather sealed.
Right.
Usually about 10,000 hours on a bulb like that.
10,000 hours.
Yeah.
On an LED bulb?
So
It says here, it's a
25.
formate tight weather resistant seal around bulbs.
So that's what you were looking for.
Yeah. It says rated life 25,000 hours on this deal here.
25,000. Okay.
So the cabling with the bulbs, and then also they put them on a cable runners to connect them. You can pull the kind of like this here.
Are they cables? Kind of a cable?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that. So that's in the bid also. And these tensioning, they sell you a tensioning tool. I don't know if you guys have those already, but to pull the tension up on them. So basically, for that bid, it was $6,900.
Total?
69 plus 4,500?
No, 69 total.
And that includes the 4,500 in bulbs?
Yeah.
Does it include
And-
any spare bulb?
It does.
So would we
Yeah, we'll have to have some.
be looking at changing those to colored for seasons?
Hi, Clancy.
Or
So what we talked about, if you see these, and I tried to research the blue spheres or whatever they call them, to that we could, you kind of hang intermittently across, not all the way across, but somehow those things hang and they work into the light system. So during the
Cool.
different seasons, we talked about doing something for Halloween, doing orange or something at Halloween and Christmas, and if there's any other holidays that we want to do, red, white, and blue for 4th of July, I don't know where we get those spheres. These folks, they didn't know where you get them either. There's probably some company somewhere that sells those.
So at American Lighting, they don't sell any of
No.
the special?
None of the special.
Do we know where these photos came from?
It was on Google. It was a Pinterest post.
Okay. So maybe we can find out.
Yeah,
we
where
researched
which
that.
city that was.
Yeah.
And didn't you say you could get snowflakes too?
No,
No, that didn't
This was
happen in my
preliminary.
mind. I
This
can
came
see
right
it.
off of this picture as far as like, hey, that might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's just doing the research to find out. I know that they have, I was researching a little bit, and they had what do you call them? It's like, they call them, they're like Japanese
Oh, the
lanterns.
lanterns?
Lanterns, but those are gonna be like paper stuff.
Right.
This looks like it's something
Would hold
that's,
up.
and these things look like they're lit. Sometimes it looks like, are they illuminated by the lights, or do they actually plug in somehow? But
Are
anyways.
you looking at using those across Bay Street rather than the icicle lights on the buildings, or in addition to?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably.
It could be a replacement of those if it's
Eventually.
But you're
if it's
thinking all
specific.
year round, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
thinking all
Yeah,
around.
it's all year
Yeah, I like the
round.
coziness of all year round personally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just kind of festive. It just kind of makes you want to get out of your car.
Mhm.
They do this in Bremerton, right?
Yeah, on 4th Street.
On 4th
And
Street.
Tacoma has a whole area
They do
that's
it.
lit just like this. And it really does attract a lot of people at night.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. As long as it's a warm light too.
Yeah.
Some LEDs are very cool and bright.
But they asked about
But we wanted.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Get his attention, right, Monty?
So
They-
I always know whose phone is ringing.
I always wait for city council, think that it's gonna come up there.
So
Be
you
real
can,
careful about that.
you can order a warm or a bright light, and I specified with those guys that we have a warm versus the bright, because I guess the bright can really,
It's a Kelvin temperature you look for.
yeah, I guess.
Well, so what's
So-
being discussed is a partnership between the city and POPSA right now,
Uh-huh.
possibly including the
Mhm.
chamber? Or no?
I don't know about the chamber.
Was he able to? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't know about the chamber, but definitely POPSA and
Yeah.
the city.
Seems like he was involved in the conversation, like they may be able to help somehow, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to Matt about it.
And then there are a lot of issues about insurance, liability, who hangs them, who does maintenance on them, all of that, which would have to be worked out amongst the entities.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the mayor was talking about the supports for these weigh a lot. And we've had issues with our marquee and different posts downtown.
Yeah.
And we've had problems with electricity source and or having enough electricity or the right type to keep from bulbs being, or the lights burning out. But you thought that LEDs would probably work?
Yeah, that's what we switched to with the Garland.
Right.
We don't have power issues like we used to have.
And this, do you think the number of strands that are being suggested here are equivalent to what we did with Christmas?
Yeah, we have additional circuits that we can.
So we're good with the sourcing of electricity?
No.
The question I have is, is it taking the place of the Garland,
Yeah, if they
right?
offer.
And
And
Yes.
then, my other question is,
For those.
is it gonna hang on the buildings or the poles?
Well, Rob indicated like the poles are not in good shape, so
Right.
he didn't think that we
Buildings.
could, if we attach to those, we'd pull them right over, but,
So
so
how
the
do you-
buildings.
The buildings.
How do you find a common height on the building to attach them to? Unless you,
Good question.
because there is a 20-foot rule the state
Yes.
has on this highway out here.
Yeah.
And those poles, where they're attached now, as borderline, and some of those poles are higher than some of the buildings.
Right. So there are plenty of logistics to be worked out.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. But moving in this direction, I know we would have to talk to building owners. And I think the mayor is on board with working to do that, working with you guys to do
Mhm.
that. So
Yeah.
that would be the idea of having a contractor also,
Right.
to be able to figure that all out, the logistics of that, because it would need certain kinds of supports. You couldn't just put it into siding. It could pull out, I think it needs a support of some sort
Yeah.
to
like an
distribute
anchor
the
bolt.
weight or,
Mhm.
uh-huh,
You need to tie it into the structure of the building.
Mhm.
That
right.
means you have to attach it to a stud or something with lag bolts
Mhm.
or a pull-through, a siding or sheathing.
So this is a little different direction than we have been talking about. I think it was a good time to get it on the table. We do have a budget this year for holiday lighting, and I do think this would go a long way to making our downtown just splendid. And I love these spheres. If we could
Yeah.
get the colored spheres, wouldn't that be so
It'd be so
cool?
pretty. You for sure can get So the sockets are E26 sockets, which are, it's a standard socket.
E26.
And you can get colored bulbs, definitely, for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it shows a
these are-
picture of the color bulbs here
Well,
too.
these are in black and white, but these are all different colors.
Yes,
Of
so-
bulbs, if we wanted to, just do that much.
So we could for sure do like green and red, but for Christmas, or red, white, and blue but to get the extra special, but we'll look into that.
I think that colored light bulbs would be a harder thing to deal with. The switching out of those bulbs
Which
would
is what I
cut
was gonna
down
say. How
on the
laborious is
longevity
it?
of them, as we all know. Can you imagine in the storm taking
Well-
those out and replacing them? And you'd have to have the bucket.
And the inventory you have to have.
Well, dropping them and everything else, I think it would be
Yeah.
harder to do that than to have the white ones
Add the
with
spheres.
just
Yeah.
the decorative whatevers we end up.
Mhm,
And since
mhm.
there are enough cities doing this now,
I'm sure.
I imagine there are some
Mhm.
sources, and maybe even more than just the spheres. But I like it so much. And it seems like everybody that sees this is pretty
It's a
excited.
happy
about
feel.
It is, it's a cozy, just a,
Happy feel.
it. Right, and I actually think, and Bobby and I talked a little bit, if we had these, then we wouldn't need the icicle lights. In fact, it might almost interfere.
Mhm.
But I think we wouldn't have to use our whole budget in contributing toward this, and then we could get some of the side lighting that we talked about this color. Because we had talked about that quite a bit, and the committee liked some of the, let me see if I can find some of the photos. Jeannie, you didn't happen to bring a catalog, did you?
I did get, it was display sales.
Mm-hmm.
They did send me,
And they're colored for the poles.
yeah.
Maybe Jeannie can find some photos.
So,
And you know, like the colored ones this time.
yeah.
Right, and can you find the ones with the poinsettias that had the red?
Yeah, I think that's the next.
So those
So-
hang off the side.
Yeah,
Yep, and they are about, I did ask, and they're about, I think 25 pounds per.
25 pounds per display.
Yeah, if we get one of these, and then, yeah, sorry, so I don't know, and he was talking about they would go on the poles, unless we could find a different location to put those going down the street.
Right, and I think what we try to do is have them on the poles if that works.
How big are they if they weigh 25 pounds?
They're-
Like 3 feet?
Yeah,
2 feet? 3
between
feet?
3 and 4, I mean, you could go, some of them are up to 6 feet, but it looks like,
Oh.
the snowflakes starts at about 4 feet.
That's why they're so heavy.
So
Yes.
show their brackets.
Yeah, and- right, the
That
brackets.
is nice.
See, and the thing is, if we have the white lights above,
Mhm.
then,
I don't
and we
know.
brought in some of the color displays for the sides, and maybe some of the colored globes, wouldn't that be pretty? Because then we have the
So
brightness,
pretty.
and then we have some color.
Mhm.
So I think what we could maybe do is kind of make use of our budget to
Mhm.
get some of the pole lit up decorations in the more of the color.
Mhm.
There's some beautiful one like poinsettias that were red with some green. We'll find those and get those out to everybody, but I think we have enough to do both, especially if we're gonna have a partnership. We haven't really talked about how much POPSA would contribute, but do you have a general idea of what you were thinking? Or have you had discussions?
We've looked at the budget, and I was talking to Chris, our treasurer, about the budget, and we always budget $1,000 for the icicle lights, so obviously that would be in this. But then, looking at some other areas where we have some, between five would be really comfortable.
5,000?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have, Laura with Display Sales did let us know that they also have pole wrap garland, and they also have pole wraps that are different colored themes with them, that if we wanted to go in that direction, if for any reason we're trying not to put more weight on the poles, we can just wrap them with something. So I don't know if that would be an option,
Well,
but that was just another
yeah,
question.
that was something she suggested.
Yeah.
I think downtown light in the dark time of the year really makes such a difference. Everything pops up with a little bit of light. We have so much wind and rain I think a wrap might be kind of hard work for you guys.
He's not smart.
It's only a grand.
How
You
much
could do
work
it
have
too.
you
I'm not
given me?
Look at me.
Well, all of it's hard work, but you know, again, the colored light. I think I'm leaning in that direction, and that's what we were talking about as a committee.
Yeah, I think it would be neat.
It just sounds
Mhm.
very pretty. And if these stayed up, that's so much less work in the long run than hauling them down. I think our garlands have been used well, and there's probably a few areas that we could kind of use them on, you know, fencing and around the parking lot and stuff. But as far as doing garlands across the street any longer, I think most of the committee members felt that that was something we could probably give up and try something new for a while. So, does that seem right? Am I being accurate? Okay, she's smiling over here.
Are the lights as heavy as the garland? Or about equal?
They have to be supported by a cable.
I would think that they would be a lot lighter than that garland.
The garland had,
Lighter.
and
The
they,
reason I say that is because when you've got a good windstorm coming through town, does it really affect the garland a little bit? 'Cause-
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably
so the
fix it
lights
up,
wouldn't
yeah.
be as damaged by wind as the garland would be?
I think they both would be, but,
Okay,
I don't think the lights would catch as much wind as that garland.
as the
probably.
garland does?
It's gonna be a longer distance, you know, because we're going an extra 10
Yeah.
feet beyond the poles.
But your garland is thick, so
Yeah.
where the lights would, wind would go through it.
well, and the garland had lights in it.
So that's kind of a plus.
So we already had lights in there, sometimes a couple of strings, because if they burnt out, they added more lights to them to try to
Mhm.
extend the life. I mean, a lot has been done to the garland to try to make it
Mhm.
last longer. So I'm excited. I really am. So we can find out more information, find out what our costs are going to be. I expect that that 6,900 estimate will go up as we find out we have needs with
Well, and that's not including the, you know, the contractor.
the contractor.
Mhm.
So
Plus the connectors and, you know.
So the contractor that would, it's probably gonna be a lot cheaper if somebody outside of the city enters the contract,
Right.
because we have to pay prevailing wage. We may have to go out for bid.
more than one. So perhaps what can be done with this is that POPSA is taking the lead on it.
Mhm.
I think that makes a lot of sense for POPSA to go ahead and continue to take the lead, and then the city can maybe contribute towards the POPSA effort.
I would say the best seamless, less complicated is that we can purchase or, and I would check with the treasurer on this part, donate a certain amount of funds to POPSA for purchasing of the lights. You
And
guys
then-
maintain them, you own them, but I don't know how that's gonna work, but I
Mm.
have to confirm that with the.
So as far as
treasurer.
maintenance though, we don't have the capacity to maintain them, or,
That could be part of the partnership agreement, you know, I would think.
That's what Rob kind of indicated.
right,
that-
when we had our meeting with our mayor, he, maybe because the professional staff that's on Suffolk City with the electrician and public works, potentially helping with that initial, portion of it, and then, but also just the maintaining of it with the bucket truck.
Well, and you know, I think working with the mayor will be working with Public Works to find out what really works. But I think we have a good direction. So if you just keep exploring more of this, and Mayor's quite involved, and I think he's willing to work.
The other thing we'll probably need too is that these just plug, they come in with a 5-foot lead, I think, 5-foot lead wire, and they plug directly in. So we would you know, as far as getting, wherever we connect to electricity, we'll have to run some type of extension cords or something, you know, or.
To the buildings.
To the
Yeah.
buildings, you know, to run them up, because I thought, you know, it's gonna be probably, you know, on those buildings, probably gonna be 10 feet up on the buildings above the
Right, the marquee.
marquee, and then somehow run those down, so.
Will the contractor be the one who?
Yeah, I mean, we currently, where do you draw the electricity for the garlands?
Outlets.
That was in the marquee?
We
That was in the
had-
marquee,
We
okay.
had that done initially, so we could put the garland in.
Okay.
Are they the same ones we plug into?
And if you change the design, then we'll probably have to change the system somehow a little bit.
Mhm.
Could add to the cost.
The electricity in the marquee is on the underside right now. Is that where you're plugging in for the garland?
There's a dedicated line just for garland. And
Oh,
then
there
is there another circuit? There's 2 other circuits there.
That we use for the
Yeah.
icicle lights?
Yes.
Okay.
So the city then is paying for that electricity because of that dedicated circuit?
Mhm.
And probably what we'll need to know is how much more that's gonna cost the city to have those lights on all year round, right?
Mhm.
Will the contractor figure that out? I mean.
I would think that would be
yeah.
part of that job, or?
So is the contractor it depends on what the contractor is doing though. Is the contractor assembling and installing, or is he just providing, I don't know what you wanna call it, a proposal of, I guess,
Well, what do we need him to do? Just attach to the buildings? Would the city be able to attach and put up the lights, or?
I think that's gonna be a conversation with the Public Works Director to see, because it's all gonna be based on timing and what time of year and.
A lot of,
yeah.
you gotta understand too, there's only 12 of us.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
12 of us at work,
Mhm.
Public Works.
Yeah. Well, and plus, it's liability, because these are going into buildings that the city doesn't own. So the contractor would have to deal with all that.
Yeah, so if we,
It may require more than just an extension cord or
Right.
2, and we have to run new circuitry,
Mm.
pull permits and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's a process.
It's doable,
Yes.
it's doable, but
Yes.
it's just what that's gonna cost us.
And maybe we can find out from Bremerton how much it affected their light bill. Because it seems to me the area that we're going to do would be very similar to the area that Bremerton has.
Okay.
And they're not on LEDs,
They're not.
right? Those are
Well, I
not.
should be able to find out
Right.
what because we connect
If you've got a
Thanksgiving
separate
weekend,
line.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's the only thing that's connected between that, okay,
That
so.
period of time, and then you multiply
Okay.
it
And I'll
out.
pull the bills, because all the bills should be done by area anyways.
And then the Bay Street Association connects.
The manufacturer should be able to tell you what the load is on each individual's 330-foot string.
okay.
It's not hard to do, and then you could calculate how that's gonna affect the power bill.
I'm gonna just close this. There's another meeting.
Greek to me.
All right, well,
I can just pull the numbers
Yeah.
You can
and.
take a phone call or something.
we can get started on the process and just see how far
Yeah.
our funds would take us, you know?
Mhm.
And perhaps even if we can't do the distance, we could get started on a block and work that way, and then work towards budgeting more in the future,
Mhm.
if we can't do it all at once. Because I do think the public will respond very well to this, and we can have, a big hoopla about it. And adding color to different seasons would just be really fun. But I think the changing of the bulbs, that will be tricky. So if we can
I think
find
you're gonna have to
ways,
shut down Bay Street when you
It
do
would be
that.
labor intensive.
well, and just,
I think it would make sense to have the clear or the white bulbs
Uh-huh.
and then accent with other colors.
Mhm.
Leave the white ones up there.
Yep.
It just costs,
Mhm.
I don't know what this is gonna cost, but if you have different strands for each season, you're gonna,
well, we don't
No.
have,
It would just be like,
these sphere things are the way to go for me. you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a dozen of those,
yeah.
Mhm.
a dozen of those to just light it up in between the
Yeah.
whites.
change those out.
Did those,
They should be that
those
expensive.
spheres screw into take the
know,
place of a bulb?
You know, it almost looks like
It
it's
almost looks like-
hanging, doesn't it? There's a little hanging thing on
Probably
there.
globes it, the bulb that will actually cover the bulb.
Right.
Yeah.
It probably actually,
That's
That's something you could add on.
it
to
doesn't
Right.
look, it doesn't look like, I don't know.
Like bulb
Or
covers.
they, I'm not sure if they
Yeah.
unscrewed it, but one of those
Screw into the socket.
plug-in deals where you can plug it in
Yeah.
and put the bulb in.
Just cool.
One of those sockets like that.
Really neat. Yeah.
Because it looks like it looks like they're illuminated. Sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes it looks like the lights are illuminating them, but
It's
they're glow in the
been,
dark.
it's been our experience that when we string the garland on,
Yes.
we'll come back the next night and we'll add the bows, just the difference between adding a bow to that garland makes all the difference in the world.
Because it weighs it
So
down.
just, if you just had 2 or 3 of those globes
Yeah,
per string, per crossing, it would be,
it does look
But
bad a
all
lot
we
when you
would
add
need
the
to do-
bows, it makes it look a lot
It
more
looks-
finished, yeah.
yeah.
It just looks
And-
classy. It's not
Yes.
gaudy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really
Yeah.
nice.
You know, it's not over.
And then just to have the plain lights up all year,
Yeah.
it would look
Love
really
it.
nice, yeah.
And it would be easy to change the bulbs out, just go through town and
Just add a couple.
He said
change-
extra.
put the globes on and be
Yeah.
done.
The Bremerton electrician said he changed out 8 bulbs in 3 years, but I don't think they were using LED. So I think that was with the.
Do they have them on a timer to where they go off at a certain time of the night?
I think they
Come
are.
on.
They're on a sensor.
Like a solar
Yeah,
sensor.
Can these
I mean, that
be-
would make sense, you wouldn't want them on
Or
during
a
the
photo
day.
cell or something,
Yeah.
so they're not running 24/7.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would
makes
be.
sense. That'd be better,
That'd be better. We get
yeah.
a photocell or a time. Probably photocell would be the way.
Okay.
Maybe.
And then that would probably
Light
require
sensitive when it's dark, they come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Mhm.
permanent circuitry
Yeah.
to do that stuff.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
That's exciting.
cool. So then what we can do is price some of those pole lighting displays. We still have a month before the sale is over with.
Yes.
There's one particular company that has a sale going on through March, and we have to source it from various suppliers. But that looks pretty good, and we'll. Oh yeah, you found that.
Is
Poinsettia.
this- Yeah, they have looks like they have a single poinsettia,
Mhm.
and then they have a double up here. So right now, and I don't think this includes the sale price, but the single, it's about $309 per, and it's a 4-foot poinsettia with LED bulbs. And then the double is actually a 6-foot at $389 with 60 LED bulbs, so it depends on.
Yeah, and I don't think we could accommodate. I don't think we could handle a 6 foot.
6
Yeah.
foot.
Do you think that the 3 foot would be just about right? You guys? Public Works?
It's about what the baskets,
Yeah, they're about 3.
About 3?
They're about 4 or 5
3
to
when
4?
they get long, but.
So that's what we'll have to find out is if we could handle a 4-foot fixture with the brackets.
Are the reeves 3 or 4? I think they're 4, aren't
Yeah, I bet they are. They're pretty
Mhm.
tall.
I don't know.
We'll find that out too. Okay, so we can move forward, and then what we'll find out is how much money we have left to maybe at least get started with adding some of the colored fixtures. And again, if we don't have enough, we'll just buy a certain amount and then add on as budget allows.
Maybe each business down Bay Street would offer to buy one if it's in front of their store.
One never knows.
Whatever. And it seems like
Probably
everybody's
I
always
would
asking
raise
for
my
money.
hand.
Right?
Well, we can find out more about that.
Yeah,
But
sounds good.
this is really
So the other
exciting.
thing is that on those poles now,
Yes.
we have a street light.
Right.
And then below that, we have a flower basket. We're almost out of real estate. We'd have to figure out how much real estate we have between the light and the basket
Right.
for one of those.
But you don't have the basket during the time of year that we would put this up. These would,
Yeah, but the bracket goes up and the
Bracket's
bracket's,
permanent.
and it stays.
Yeah.
The fixture, I mean,
So the
Back.
plan's
decoration
gonna be
comes
in front of
down.
the bracket.
You might be able
Or
to
behind.
fix it to the bracket though, or just,
okay, more research.
We've
yeah.
also got a clearance. We have to have a certain amount of clearance from the street. So,
Right.
20 feet, right?
In case the Jolly Green Giant comes walking.
Well, in the parking strip,
Yeah.
that's not an issue, but you do
Right.
have trucks, delivery trucks come in.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
state
Wipe out
highway,
stuff.
we have rules to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's explore that some more. So what we'll do then, Janine, is find out about the brackets for the 3 and the 4 feet.
Okay.
And how much they weigh and how long they are. We may have to experiment with
Okay.
the placement of those before we even put an
It
order.
looks like the bracket for those particular items that you're talking about taking on the poles are the same type of bracket that we use for the garland,
For the
the
wreaths.
wreaths.
Okay.
And you can see those on those poles up there.
And that's a doable thing too, because they use a stainless steel band. It's not just lagged into the pole. it's anchored to the pole and
Then
then
goes
it's banded with
around.
stainless steel
So
band.
distributes the weight more evenly.
So that, so you don't have to worry about the
Pull it
condition
out.
of the pole actually holding it in place.
Which is good for us,
Yeah.
the
So-
condition of the
And
pool.
without the garland pulling on them.
Yeah, okay. Do you think, for placement, just how many public works do you think we would need? Every 2 or 3 poles for downtown? For how many fixtures we may need, lighting displays? Would be ideal.
4 per block, maybe. I'd stagger.
Mm-hmm.
Every
that
every other
around
pole,
all
how many
day,
poles are there, do you remember?
Is that the way the garland is done
16,
now?
19 poles.
We could do it again.
Would you still use the flags,
Or let Shane know.
do you think? You would still use the holiday flags?
That's, I don't know,
The holiday banners.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We had to switch those to the back side of the pole because we ran out of real estate when we changed and put flower baskets and stuff like that on there, so if everybody's happy with having the holiday banners on the back side of that pole, then, we have them, we can use it.
Which is where they are now.
Is there ever too much to where it looks gaudy?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you could hang those on the back side of the pole.
In
Instead
place of the banners?
Yeah. I mean, the banners are really noticeable, but they're not lit, so that's the problem with them.
Well, I think we'll have to experiment.
Yeah.
Are these lit?
Yes.
So what we'll have to do is we'll actually have to do a count and experiment to see. Okay, well, we have our work cut out for us this next one. But I think it's something fun. And it's nice to have the
Mhm.
budget to work with. So, anything else for that?
And keep in mind that the power that we have for the garland now is
Yes.
on one side of the street only.
Okay.
So we don't have
There's power available on both sides, but the way that's all set up now, we take power from one side of the south side of the street to power the garland now.
So we'll definitely want to make sure that the lights all go to that side. The
Yes,
string
power.
lights.
Right, but if you're talking about individual
Mhm.
decorations, they have to have a power source.
Because there's no power on the left
It's-
side
Yes.
for those.
And there's not enough adequate enough power right there now. Enough for your icicle lights, but that's about it.
Well, they're
But
only.
if we didn't have the icicle lights, would we have enough?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because there would only be a couple of these if we're staggering.
Mhm.
So, okay, well, that's what we'll have to all check into too. And where those can be, where the power sources are. Yeah, it sure isn't easy, is it?
Would you select like 2 different designs, do you think, or 3 different designs, or have you
I think we'll see,
looked that far into it?
yeah, we'll see how much, if we can get a discount for getting some of the same.
Mhm.
The committee was pretty much talking about maybe a couple of different designs. Not too many, but,
Mhm.
and since we're really not talking loads of them either.
Yeah.
But now that we're talking about a white light on top, most of those I think would be colored.
Colored.
Yeah.
That would be better.
Okay, so don't, I know the last time I talked to them, we were trying to get information on the snowflakes.
Right.
So for now, are we just gonna go ahead and do the color,
We're
get the
gonna-
quotes and everything on
right.
the colors and, okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Because we weren't thinking along these lines before, so we're kind
Yeah.
of switching gears a bit. So we do need a little bit of color down there, and I think that would be nice. Yeah.
Yep, can I do, so did you want, like a quote on a couple poinsettias and candy canes, or they have, I'm just not sure which way you
Yeah.
guys are looking, but they have holly leaves and ornaments. I'm trying to think in the 4, they got a wreath with a bow.
I think what we'll need to do is find out where they need to go, if they're gonna be on the inside of the pool, the outside of the pool, because it looks
Yeah.
like they vary then, like an angel would probably reach out too far. I have a feeling we're gonna end up using a lot of the slender ones. Not a lot, but we passed this around last time. Point State got a lot of points because of the color.
Okay.
And,
Ask if there's a big Christmas tree in there.
oh yeah, the big Christmas tree.
There's a yes.
Oh, then there's that discussion. Mostly the colored ones. I'll go through and we can talk to Bill and George too.
Now,
You can really-
I'm under the assumption that we do the lit ornaments on the backside of the pole, and we're doing away with the banners.
I think that's something we have to work out, right?
Mhm.
How's that?
Just
Our
think
banners
about
are kind of, I was gonna talk to Janine about bringing this up, but they probably at some point should be replaced.
Okay.
If
And they're
we're
not
gonna
ours, are
continue
they?
using them.
The banners technically belong to
No,
Popsa?
we don't have anything to do with them.
Where did are they ours?
Yeah,
Are they
they
city?
Yeah.
We've been hanging them,
We've been storing them all.
long time.
storing them
I
all these
see.
years.
Okay.
They're
I mean,
not
I'll be
ours.
glad to take them
Yeah,
somewhere.
And they weren't purchased under my 9 years
Yeah.
here, so.
And
I don't
they
know.
wouldn't be necessarily chimes and lights either. Because they count.
We also have summer banners we put up
Yeah.
also.
Well,
They
how
go
important
down.
are the banners for chimes and lights? We have daylight hours. They mostly show up during the
Are they all-
day.
They look nice.
They look nice in
Yeah.
daylight hours.
Mhm. So,
And you never have to change a bulb.
There you go.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Right. Well, if we have problems with electricity, how weird would it be to have lit displays on one side and banners on the other? Would that be too weird?
I don't
Lopsided?
know, we'd have to look at it, like, take a picture and,
Well, again, we get that bracket for the flower baskets hanging there.
Mhm. Okay. We're gonna work on this. Right. And so I can't answer that, if it would replace it or not. We'll probably use those banners till there's nothing left of them.
Little hole.
But
That's-
I don't
that's
think
kinda what we're
that
doing.
banners are gonna be in this budget for this year, I don't think.
They're expensive also.
Eh.
That wasn't.
No, this is lighting, this is holiday lighting, so, yeah. Okay. Any more to be said on this?
Excuse me. So if I, as far as VJC group, who do I connect them with, or how do I connect them with the city if he wants to come down and have some discussion?
I'd say Mark Dorsey. You can connect him with me and
Okay.
then, or Mark Dorsey, either way. I'll let Mark know.
Okay, then you have some discussion. on it.
And the mayor
Okay.
too. The mayor's been talking too, yeah.
Mark can kind of brief him on the logistics and also what the, if we're gonna have to go out for bid or any of that, he can talk to him about that part of it, but, I think just touching base with him to figure out what the whole scope of it is.
Right, okay.
Okay, well, we kind of took care of two, 1 and 2 on the agenda, holiday lighting. And Sheila isn't here today, so we were talking about, we were going to talk about shared services during the Festival of Chimes and Lights. And what she had suggested is that Jingle Bell Run would continue to provide the tent, which we made use of. That was a 20 by 40, I believe, across the street. But she asked for help with dumpster service. Because she said last year there wasn't enough room to put all the garbage. And in the end, she had to haul it different places, I think, including home. So she asked if the city could handle that. And this morning in utilities, I was asking about, we can't add that to our utility budget, but is that something we can source and find out?
It's not in the Chimes and Lights budget either.
Mhm.
But Janine is reaching out to Waste Management to see if they will be willing to sponsor some
A dumpster?
dumpsters.
Do you have a general idea how much that would cost for an event? You don't know?
No, I've been talking to Laura with Waste Management, and she's looking into it right now.
Okay.
And she said she'd be responding pretty soon. So as soon as I hear anything, and she'll let me know sizes of what we can get, which days that we can get. Because I know it was mentioned to maybe have it a couple days before the event also.
Mhm.
So she's looking into all that for me right now.
How much do
I
you
can
guys
give
pay
you
for
the
parade?
cost of what we do for our different events. I don't have it in my brain, but I can
Okay.
certainly look it up and let you know.
Yeah, please.
Because we usually order the dumpster for each of our shows.
Okay.
Our vendors.
Yeah.
Brandy, What day of the week does our garbage get picked up here? Do you know?
Monday? It's Monday at the
Mondays for
library.
us.
Mondays?
Okay.
Well, do we always fill our city dumpster?
I don't know, I can find out.
Because if we don't, then maybe we don't need a whole dumpster. Perhaps what we can do is just fill up the city dumpster.
I think,
You
so,
mean for just in the, around City Hall, is that what you're talking about?
for the whole bit, Chimes on Lace during the whole. Problem is, I think, we'd have to figure out how that would work, because one, we don't wanna open up the dumpster where it's at right now and just have general public going in there. And then the other one would be for Public Works or somebody to
empty
routinely
the
going
trash.
around and checking the garbage cans, emptying out the bags, putting them in the dumpster and refilling them.
That's what we do now.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
You do, okay.
They've been doing
And
that.
we use that dumpster,
And you do use it
yeah.
Okay.
for
We
what you
take-
collect?
We
For-
probably fill it up before the end. of
We
the
put
year.
about 6 standard 33-gallon garbage cans around, across the street in the parking lot, and then this parking lot. And it,
So we would probably need another container, huh?
So it sounds
it fills the container up.
Okay.
in that-
All right.
I know we get one for the 4th of July, but it's a lot bigger, or we have. It's a little bit bigger than one that's out there.
Okay.
And we bring in one for the 4th of July.
Fathoms does.
We put one down at West Bay Center, because we have to go clean that parking lot up when it's all said and done.
Bless
It
you.
helps.
And the beach road all the way out to the city limits.
Speaking of the 4th of July, y'all keep your fingers crossed. I'm meeting on the 15th with a sponsor that might come up with some big bucks to add to our show.
Ooh, decent. Okay, and then porta potties we had on the list. Usually Jingle Bell Run provides quite a few. Do we partner with those?
I don't.
Again, it's not in the budget,
Yeah.
but she's gonna try and reach out to, who is it? Himleys?
Emily's.
Himleys,
Yeah.
and I thought there was another one.
Yes.
Honey Bucket, yeah, Honey Bucket,
That's
to see if they can be a sponsor, but we
Okay.
just,
Okay. And haven't we
Yeah.
had enough though with our bathrooms?
I thought I heard it for the wraps that, it might not have been this year, but the last year, that there wasn't enough public restrooms. But,
That was
check our minutes.
2015, not 2016, right?
Correct.
And
That's what I believe.
2015 was a very wet year and low attendance. 2016 was actually very high attendance. So if we didn't have complaints this year, then I wouldn't worry too much about the 2015 year. I know that Jingle Bell added more, and I don't think the porta potties get picked up until the following week.
They're usually delivered on Friday and picked up on Monday.
Mm-hmm. So they're left there, that's part of the deal too, is that they get left there and the city's using them for the event, so it's kind of a shared deal. And I think, that they're still willing to do that, but we'll find out if we need to add more. I'll talk to Sheila. She would have a real good idea too. She's down there, gets a better sense. You don't
They
have-
use mine all the time.
They use yours.
Yeah, lots.
Indoor.
Wouldn't you think?
Well, at the library too, I mean, it's
Yeah,
super
but-
popular to come inside
Oh,
and use the
yeah.
It's the
restroom, but I
indoor
think.
part of it. Mm-hmm.
Like
But
the
I-
cruise, they just
Yeah.
use our restroom all the time. Jingle Bell Run, for sure. But
Jingle
that's
Bell.
okay.
The market's got codes on their bathrooms now, so it's not for the public.
I'll never have that, so it'll be for the public.
Yeah.
There was right before Jingle Bell, there was a really long line on those not the marina restrooms, but the public restrooms that are the permanent public restrooms. I don't know if there were porta potties up near the
And that was
starting and finish
that was
line.
during Jingle Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they have such a surge, It's
Yeah.
all at one time.
And the same with Chimes and Lights down here with the choirs and the tree lighting. That's when all the people are down here.
Okay. Well, I'll look into that. I'm going to talk to her about that.
Seems like they could put two behind the pavilion. I'm sure Mansour would allow them. Wouldn't that be a good spot?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing
Mhm.
really, just that big parking area.
And then even some just next to the public restrooms that are right there
That's
would
true.
be.
We put a handicap out down at the marina, at the dock at the marina restrooms, we put a handicap and a regular porta potty
Okay.
on the 4th of July as well as Parade Day. Parade Day, we put, I think, a total of 15 out.
Oh, you do?
It's a big day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do put a handicap out.
Are you through with this?
Oh, you don't want to talk about porta potties? I don't get it.
It's
You
one
have
of my
more to
favorite
do.
subjects.
One thing I was interested in is, we got a plan for a big tree.
Okay, sure.
I need to apologize to the group right now for the appearance of the tree just before we lit it up. I wasn't happy with the end result, but
I think you did a wonderful
You
job.
did a great job
Mhm.
for what you
And-
had, really.
And I was, again, I wanted to thank the Saints for donating the tree, and that was a wonderful donation. What we're finding is we had to fix the tree, and in the high winds, the fix didn't stay.
Mhm.
And so the
Oh.
top kind of blew off, really is what happened, and we lost quite a few teeth with the tree. It's always been very tricky, is cutting that tree and having it, once it's felled,
Mhm.
it's damaged not only in that
Like,
process, but in the hauling of it and then bringing it up. And I know Public Works would love to see an artificial tree.
Mhm.
Does it say what the cost is?
20-some
Well, this
thousand,
goes-
22,000.
This one here is an 18-foot tree for $5,000, looks like.
18
18,
foot tree.
that's not that
Not
tall
very
though.
big.
That's not very,
But it says also.
you double that.
Over 36 foot requires special order, so you can get it in any height you
Lots of
want.
storage space for it then, huh?
Yeah, there's this little tug of war going on between artificial tree and real tree. And they're not cheap, the artificial trees, and they get damaged the same way
They
our
get
garland and
damaged,
everything
too.
else does. But, these folks have kind of risked
Mhm.
their lives.
It could also be dangerous for the public, like if the tree fell over.
Well, they were.
Do you get complaints from the tree huggers and cutting down a tree and moving it to City Hall?
No, we have not had any complaints that way. We've just had staff up there in the bucket the bucket only goes so high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was
We
this.
hear the complaints.
It was,
You guys
now let me
do?
get, it's
Yes.
not Tony. Tony was the wrong name. It's Ray. Who was the person up in the bucket that I,
That was
Tony.
That was Tony.
it was Tony.
not Ray, yeah.
Okay.
There was a little
Yeah.
boo-boo there.
I really flubbed that one. I said the wrong name. The person who risked life and limb, and I said the wrong name.
Oh.
But I'll never hear the end of it, and poor Tony's up there. And we do need to get that squared away soon, don't we?
Is there a flagpole in front of City Hall? Like this flagpole here on the other side?
It's on the truck.
No, well, it was in the triangle, but.
It was in the
it's
triangle.
gone now, too.
Yeah, okay, so there is not a flagpole.
The one that
You
fell
want me to
over.
plan for a tree this year?
Is there another big tree out there?
Several of them.
Several of them?
Somewhere, I think there's a couple we can drop and not have the top damage like we did on that one.
Okay, I think I should have you work with Public Works. That's the best thing. And
Just let me know if you want a tree and
okay,
we'll put it together, but
okay, because that was a big effort.
don't wait till the last minute.
Well, I know that's something we need.
We gotta line up that huge trailer and
If you get trees in mind right now.
Can they go and take a look at it? Look at the
Is it
options?
possible?
I'm sure it's
Terry,
possible.
Okay, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea on a nice day, huh? Try to work out something.
Yeah, the gentleman that hauled the tree for you guys, his name eludes me now, but.
Blueberry.
Lou Berry. I don't think he's interested in doing that again. He was a nervous Nelly when he did that, because I don't think he really wants to do it again, but.
Yeah,
Oh, is he
They'll find
part of
somebody
the-
else,
Is he
right?
part of the
Yeah.
Saints Club?
I don't
Terry?
think so, that one. Just the donator of the tree is with the Saints Club.
Okay, okay. Well, I think actually if Public Works could work with the Saints and see if there is something that would work for you, and we could find out if there is somebody who would haul it then if this gentleman can't.
I'll have Roger Jensen get a hold of you, George.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Terry, that would be great. And it always a tricky deal. What we found last year,
And there's extra.
the fix was a real difficult thing. But, we had winds like none other. That was a terrible storm that came through for that weekend. And it was beautiful. I thought you didn't need to apologize for the tree at all. It just looked so gorgeous the way you did it, but it took a
Yeah.
long time. They helped to rebuild the tree is what they did. They had to drill out and put branches back in.
Oh my gosh.
They typically do that
It was-
anyway.
It was about 7 or 8 trees all in one.
Yeah.
It's a little high rate.
So I scouted around to get limbs and
Excuse me.
Lou Berry actually, he felt so bad because he knew what he had on the truck and the top was gone, and he actually went back out in the woods and found me a top and extra limbs. But
What a struggle.
he said he was not comfortable doing that.
Sure.
I don't, whether he volunteers to do it again or not, I don't know.
Okay, well, it is probably a good time to start looking into a solution, so that by December we have something figured out. But I don't think artificial is in for this year.
What about planting a tree there?
Yeah, that's been suggested, but it'd be kind of small for a while. Gather around the tree. What tree?
Yeah, I think you could probably buy a 20-foot tree and have it
Say
planted
about
there.
20.
And,
Every year, watch it grow.
Mhm.
yeah.
Well,
That's a thought.
plant a tree.
We'd have to take out that tree stand, but
Let's look into that.
I'd plant 2 or 3 and plan for the future. I mean,
There's not that much space though.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Would
would that interfere with the city expansion if we go ahead with that?
I don't know what the plan is for expansion.
That's something that can be asked. Because there is discussion now about a city expansion in the not too terribly distant future.
City Hall expansion.
Uh-huh. Yeah. At the city council meetings, it's been discussed, but there's no budget right now for that or anything. But still, it would be something we'd have to consider, and I don't know if that area would affect that, do you? Well, anyway, that's a question to ask.
Discussion to move forward with phase 2. I don't know if you guys knew that there was a phase 2. And I think phase 2 is over by
The police department.
the parking lot. Rose right here, it's building onto where the police department enters, the garage, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, so Sally Port, there you go. Yeah, so I think that's where the phase 2 is implemented. It shouldn't affect, the layout, the tiles and the walkway and the stairways of any of that, from what I
It was my
remember, but I don't know for sure.
I think it was my understanding that is phase 2, the Sally Port. And the trash enclosure was phase 2 of the city hall because the old city hall was sitting right there.
Okay.
Okay, well, we can find out if there's anything under there that would keep us from planting a large tree, where those roots would go and the wells and all of that. I don't really know, but we can ask. Because I know we do need to find something. You can't do this forever. You're still alive though, thank heavens. And I really appreciate all the effort. No one truly knows what goes into making all of these things work, and you can see it's just such a lot of effort for any one thing that happens these days. So behind the scenes and with Public Works and with the Saints, lining up vehicles and equipment, it is a challenge. So thank you very much. The outcome is amazing. It really is lovely, and people enjoy it so much. So I think that may be it for this meeting. I was not going to have another meeting soon, but I think we really need to keep this moving, so there will be a meeting in March. We typically meet the third Monday of the month. So is that the 20th?
I'm thinking so.
Yes,
I
I
think
think
it
the
is.
21st,
March
Tuesday work
20th,
study.
15th.
It's the 20th.
I know that.
Yeah.
The 20th. Okay, well, I propose then March 20th at 3:30, and we'll do quite a bit of homework in between with the lighting, the electricity, the tree.
I'll wait to hear from Roger then.
Okay, I'll see him tonight at the meeting, I'll give him the notice.
Okay.
If we can get out early enough and look at
Especially the
those
pricing.
trees that are left
The
out there. that-
Yeah,
The
there's
pricing on those lights.
some that are in
To see
an
if-
area where